Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Ray from iProImpair.com, and this is basically a video that I'm making in response to a few questions that I've had via direct message and via email and on YouTube. A lot of people are asking me, have you ever been charged incorrectly for data through your carrier? Now, uh, personally, I have not. Can it happen? Yes, it's very possible. It's usually just a lack of education or misinformation. In my particular case, I have AT&T as my carrier, and I'm still one of those few individuals that still have a $30 unlimited data plan. So although it is unlimited, there is still some education involved in this. What a lot of people don't know is actually as of 2011, last year, summer of last year, AT&T put on your bill as well as send you messages that even though you have an unlimited plan, that you would be capped, and it's a soft cap. And so what does that mean? That means, for example, if you're on a 3G device, like an iPhone 4, 3GS, 3G, if you're on a 3G device and you have an unlimited data plan, that once you hit 3 gigabytes, your speeds would be throttled or reduced. So instead of getting 3G speeds, you would get Edge or even GPRS speeds. So the data would still be unlimited, but the speed would be reduced. So, and this is within AT&T's terms of service, which can be found online. I won't go into that, but it is within their terms of service that they can do this. Um, you have an option if you don't want to uh, be throttled or capped, that you can go with a new data plan that doesn't have that cap, and it's very simple. You could just go to att.com/data plans, and this is the first thing you'll come up with. It shows their plans right there online for smartphones. $20, 300 megabytes, $30, 3 gigabytes, $5, pardon me, $50, 5 gigabytes for tablets, gaming devices, etc. And non-smartphones, you still have unlimited. And it also even tells you the overage rate. It tells you for the smartphone 300 plan, if you go over, it's $20, you get 300 megabytes. For the 3 gigabyte, 5 gigabyte plan, $10 over, and you get another 1 gigabyte. So they definitely do give you information on the plans and what the overage is. The other thing that is listed on the site is how can I estimate my usage? You know, how much do you think I might need? You can click on estimate my usage, which will then take you to a data calculator as such. And you have a drop down here where you could pick tablet, notebook, smartphone, basic phone. You could choose your plan, set it for 300, and it changes some of the tabs up here. So for example, if you went with a $20 300 megabyte plan, you get 900 emails with no attachments, 100 emails with attachments, 10 minutes of streaming video, etc. 3 gigabytes, you can change it, and you get an idea of how much 3 gigabytes is. Now, for those of you that don't know, data is measured, or data, however you like to say it, is measured usually in megabytes or megabits. There's 1,024 megabytes in every 1 gigabyte. So 3 gigabytes would be 3,072 megabytes. And megabytes is how it's displayed on your online account and on your phone if you get a text message. So anyways, this is the data calculator. That's one tool that AT&T gives you. But back to the plan, there's also other things that it says here. As far as you do get an automatic notice, you receive a courtesy message at 65, 90, and 100% of your data usage. So as you're using your data throughout the month, when you reach about 65%, you'll get a free text saying, hey, you've reached 65%, you know, be careful with your usage. At 90%, you'll get another message telling you, hey, you're really close. And then 100%, it will tell you, okay, well, now it's, you know, you've passed it, you're going to be charged, and you're over. What you can do is, as it says here, you go star 3282 pound on your phone as if you're making a call, and that will send a free text message to you with your current usage. And I will go ahead and display that right now. So let me go and pull that up here. This is a live screenshot of my phone. And that has been sent. So then shortly here I will get a text message alerting me of my usage. Now again, in my case, it will be a little bit different because I do have unlimited, but I still have to be careful because once I hit that 3 gigabyte limit, then I will get throttled. So I do still need to be careful. And as you can see, popped up on my screen, and it tells me that I have used 1,347 megabytes of unlimited. It tells me how many messages I have, and as far as group messaging, it tells me that as well. So, a very useful tool to have. Okay. The other thing to keep in mind is some of the questions that I had were, well, I see that I'm being charged in the middle of the night, but I'm asleep. How is this happening? Well, what a lot of people don't know is there is what AT&T uses, which is called delayed billing. And this is not just AT&T, it's other carriers as well that have delayed billing. Not everybody has up-to-date right to the second billing. So what does that mean? That means, let's say I'm on Safari or Chrome or whatever, or YouTube, and I'm watching a video. The data that I'm using doesn't go into the billing system at that time. It could be delayed when it gets reported into the AT&T billing system. Usually AT&T likes to do this, in the early morning or late night hours. So at night, what it will do is the device will gather all the data that you use that hasn't been reported to the billing system, and then on your bill it'll show up as data use. And so a lot of people will see that on their bill and they'll be like, "Hey, I'm being charged for data in the middle of the night," which is not actually correct. It's delayed billing. So that's another thing to keep in mind as far as your billing usage. And like I said, this is really all a matter of being just more aware, and self-education is really what it is. And I'm not saying it's not possible to get incorrectly charged. We know that's possible. But in most scenarios, it's not, incorrect billing by your carrier. It's just, you were using it more, you didn't think you were, and you just kind of went over the plan. So that takes me to another tool, which currently the iPhone does not have it. On Android Ice Cream Sandwich, there actually is a built-in data manager now, which we won't get into that. I'll save that for my Android video at a later time. But as far as iOS, there's currently no built-in data manager. So what you can do is you can go to the App Store, and in the App Store there is a data manager that you can actually get in the App Store. So let me see if I can bring that up here real quick. So we'll go for My Data Manager, and there it is. And this is a free app, and what you want to do is just go ahead and tap on it, sign in with your ID, and install it. And then once you install it, you will go into it and you'll have to set it up. Now in this case, I already have it set up, but as you can see, you can go in here and you can go to operating mode, and you can select detailed or just course mode, which just tracks just the usage. Detailed actually shows you what apps are using what data. So as you can see here, that's showing some of the things. Another thing you do is you can set your plan limit. So in my case, I went here and I set the mobile plan limit. I set it for 5 gigabytes, and I set my bill cycle, which it starts over on the 21st of each month. So that's definitely something you want to set up. And then as you can see here, it shows on my screen mobile, roaming, or Wi-Fi. These are all the apps while connected to Wi-Fi that have been using data, and about how much they've used. Now this is not concrete. I wouldn't say this is 100% accurate, but this is definitely a great way to gauge your usage. Let's go back to mobile. And that's one thing that you see. Another great feature of the application is you can actually get a forecast of your usage. So it's saying, okay, for today, your forecasted usage is 1.91 gigabytes as far as my forecast usage. Here's how much I've actually used, 2 megabytes, and here's how much is remaining in my budget, 357 megabytes. So that's definitely another good tool for roaming. Doesn't really matter. And for Wi-Fi, also doesn't really matter, because in my particular case, I'm connected to my home Wi-Fi, so I can use as much as I want. So that's another great tool that's within my data manager. The other thing you can see here is it shows you your usage on a graph. You can see your mobile usage, roaming usage, and Wi-Fi usage. And as you can clearly see on my screen, my Wi-Fi usage is what's really high, and which is something I recommend whenever you can use Wi-Fi. You definitely want to use that, because AT&T is not actually a Wi-Fi carrier. A lot of people get confused by that statement. AT&T Mobility, which provides cellular voice and data service, does not actually provide Wi-Fi service. AT&T, which has UVerse, DSL, phone service, all that, they're the ones that actually have the AT&T paid and free public hotspots. So whenever you get a data plan with AT&T Mobility, you get access to all those hotspots. and the data used while on Wi-Fi doesn't come out of your cellular plan. So it's definitely something that it's recommended to use whenever possible, is to use Wi-Fi um, on your device whenever possible, or use Wi-Fi when you're at home. Uh, Back to My Data Manager, as you can see here, it even shows you a map, and it gives you the color coordinates: yellow for mobile, blue for Wi-Fi, and it shows you where you're using your data. You know, as far as how much you're using, to kind of give you an idea and a trend of what's going on. It gives you another graph, so it shows your overview, comparing the data, how much mobile data you've used compared to Wi-Fi data, and you even have a data timer that you could set on here, so that way you can say, hey, I just want to use this much, or for Wi-Fi I want to use this much, for roaming I want to use this much, for mobile you can set a limit, and once you reach that, it can stop it. So My Data Manager, definitely an app that you want to pick up if you don't already have it. Like I said, it's free in the Apple App Store. Definitely something you want to install. Another tool that a lot of people don't use, which is free from AT&T, is the MyAT&T app. And that's also free in the App Store. I've already installed it, so I won't go through that. But in there's several things that you can do. Pay your bill, usage, my services, where you can actually add and remove features, reset your voicemail password, sign up for paperless billing. A key thing in here is you can see AT&T Wi-Fi. This is what we were talking about before. You can tap on this, and this will tell you where AT&T Wi-Fi hotspots are in your area. So that way you can connect to a Wi-Fi hotspot, so you're not using data out of your data plan. So that's another really good thing that you can use. But we'll go back to usage. In this case, I have several people on my plan, so I'll go to group 1. And it gives you an idea of how many days are in your bill cycle, your minutes, nights and weekend minutes, multiple minutes, rollover minutes, and how much you've used. You can also look at your data messages, which I have an unlimited, and stuff like that. If I want to look at my individual data, I actually have to tap on individual, choose the number, and it'll show the individual minutes, or I can choose data. Scroll down, and it'll show my data. And as you can see, for data, it shows I've used 1,047.7 megabytes of unlimited in my plan, and it shows my messaging. So definitely a tool that you want to use as far as your data service. So we've shown you how you can use the online data calculator on AT&T's website at att.com/data calculator. We've also told you how you can look at the different data plans that are available to you, as well as what the overage is, and some other tools to monitor and track your usage by going to att.com/data plan. So those are definitely some things that you want to do. We've also showed you the My Data Manager app that's free on the Apple App Store, and the MyAT&T app that is free on the Apple App Store, as other tools to help manage and track your data and usage, so that way you can familiarize yourself and be educated on what you're using. So these are all tools that you definitely want to take advantage of to track your data usage. And I feel if you do this, then there will be less concerns and less frustrations that you have about data usage. One of the other things I did want to point out that a lot of people don't know is that by design from Apple, not AT&T, but by design from Apple, if your iPhone is not plugged into the charger and you have Wi-Fi on, when your screen goes into sleep mode, when it goes to sleep, like you get a black screen, and it sits there for a minute or two, when you turn it back on, it'll actually switch to 3G. It won't stay connected to Wi-Fi. Now mine, that didn't happen because I had it connected to the charger. But if you don't, it'll change over to 3G. So what does that mean? That means that any data that you get throughout the night will be used from your 3G data plan. So if you have emails set up to automatically come to your device, if you have Twitter, if you have Facebook notifications, if you have all that stuff set up, then that'll come through, and that will use data from your data plan. So those are some things to keep in mind as far as data. You can go into the different applications, and you can disable the notifications. You can also even disable the notifications or updates for the email. So you can turn those off, so that way you're not using data. Another thing that you can do, and what some people do, and what I would recommend if you have one of the lower plans, if you still have like an old $15 200 megabyte plan, or the $20 300 megabyte plan, I really recommend that you do this if you have one of those lower plans, because using that amount of data can happen real quick. I mean, just a few emails, a little bit of streaming of video, or even streaming of radio can use that very quickly. So it's definitely this is something that you should do, in my personal opinion, which is go into settings, general, network, and turn cellular data off. So that way, when cellular data is off and you're connected to Wi-Fi, there's no way possible that data can be used on your device. If you have your device connected to the charging source and connected to Wi-Fi, it should always stay connected to Wi-Fi. If for some reason it does get disconnected from the charging source and Wi-Fi goes off, you won't have to worry about data being used because the cellular data is off. So nothing data related will work. So the only caveat to that is you want to make sure that when you do leave a Wi-Fi area, you go back into settings, general, network, and enable cellular data, or else you won't get data on the go. So that's definitely one thing I recommend if you have one of the lower plans, or if you just want to be sure that you're not going to be billed for data. Because even while cellular data is off, you can still send and receive calls and get text messages. The only thing that won't work are data related stuff like, internet, email, YouTube, picture messages, stuff like that. So definitely something that I would recommend. So hopefully this explains a lot in regards to data usage and how you're billed for data as far as it's concerned with AT&T. Unfortunately, like I said, that's the carrier that I have, so I can really only provide information about them. But look with your carrier. If you have T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon, I'm sure they provide some of the same tools for you to monitor and track your data usage. So that's definitely something to take advantage of. Use in this case, or in your carrier's case, if they have a My Services app of some sort, use that to track your data, monitor your data, your plan, and stuff like that. So that way you know what you're using, as well as maybe install the My Data Manager app from the App Store as well to help you manage your data. So again, this is Ray from iPhoneRepair.com. Hopefully this helps explain a lot of questions about data usage, some different ways to track it and monitor it, so that way you do not exceed your plan and have to get into a big headache of paying a high bill.